One more thing. Despite everything, the Dallas Mavericks played a basketball game. Kyrie Irving showed up big. Klay Thompson was awesome as well. But why did the Mavericks lose this game? I will tell you exactly why on today's Locked On Mavs. One more thing.
I'm here because I have to do it.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about fun.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah, welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years, NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And I don't understand why Kessler Edwards is starting, just like retired NBA player Nick Stauskas.
What a mean quote. Anytime someone says, I mean, no disrespect.
Very mean. We'll talk about that. Isaac Harris joining me. The one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I'm just glad that game is over. I just wanted, the game was amazing as far as basketball wise. It was fun, fun basketball. But man, I'm just glad it's over. Let's move on. Can we play the Hornets or somebody now?
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that until the April 9th game where he comes to Dallas, and that'll be an even bigger circus. And hopefully the Mavericks will be healthy by then. And speaking of health, slightly biased, we're three-man weaving it. What you got for me, Slightly?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Isaac. I could not wait for this game to end. And I'm sure everybody on the court kind of felt the same as well in a weird way. I think Luka kind of hinted at it in his post-game presser. So, yeah. Honestly, all things considered, really wasn't that bad.
Honestly, we'll take it. We'll take what the Mavericks had because
from an emotional standpoint, really thought I'd hurt more.
All the emotion, playing in LA, Luka, all that kind of playing against Luka, having a game plan against Luka. We'll talk about all that, but let's start here. I was impressed by Kyrie Irving. He stepped up in a big moment. You can tell him and Klay Thompson specifically. You can tell that those two guys have been in big moments and been into big situations because especially in that first half, there was just nobody that was doing anything. I mean, the first quarter, everybody was missing shots. Only 3 players hit shots. Kyrie hit 5, Max Christie hit 1, Klay hit 1. Nobody else hit a shot. But Kyrie finished with 35 points. He had, 18 in the first half. He was just absolutely awesome and stepped up in a big moment when you could tell he's been stepping up as the leader for this team for the last couple of weeks, even a month with Luka out. And it was one more time where he goes, all right, this is a big moment, big emotional moment for my team. I'm going to step up in this big way, Isaac.
Yeah, especially early. I mean, he knows that in these big games, first game of a playoff series, first game of an NBA Finals, that first quarter is just good luck, all right? Because everybody's trying to figure things out. The young guys, inexperience is showing. And he probably saw that going into it, and the moment was too big for Kessler Edwards, for an Omax, for honestly a Max Christie. I thought he looked shook at times,
Yeah.
and you could tell Kyrie's like, all right, I've been in these big moments before. Everybody's missing shots. Everybody's in their feels. It's an emotional game. Let me kind of take the reins here. And I mean, the Mavs desperately needed it.
Yeah, that was the Kyrie that we've grown accustomed to. It reminded me Game 1 conference finals last year against the Timberwolves. Just immediately stepped up and recognized the moment. I mean, what was it? 12 of their first 16 points, I think, were Kyrie Irving. And early in the game, I mean, nobody could get anything going. It was a struggle all night for the role guys, but especially early on. And Kyrie had 14 first quarter points, and it just kind of felt like you looked at the score early in this game, and it's like, how are the Mavs not down by 18, 19, 20, 21 points? They're only down by 8. It was due in large part to Kyrie Irving doing Kyrie Irving stuff. So, I mean, he continues this crazy. I saw a stat that he's averaging a block a game in the month of February.
Let's go.
He had 2 today.
The month's pretty much over, so he's probably going to finish the month averaging a block a game, which is just crazy from your point guard.
He's a 4. He's a power forward. That's what he told us at media day.
Not just from your point guard, from your 6'2" point guard. So,
and the new cut, new shave, and everything.
I think he looks great.
Dude, he looks like he's 22.
I know.
All right. You and Max Christie really come in together?
Back to rookie Kyrie, it feels like, with him. But yeah, I mean, and he just in so many ways, that first quarter, the Lakers went up 13-8, and it felt like the Lakers were getting some momentum. Obviously, the crowd's behind them. You're getting some tons of energy. Luka had already gotten the tech. You just had some big moments. Kyrie, step back 3 over Luka. Kyrie, stealing a 3. It's 14-13 Mavericks. And that was just a massive moment that Kyrie, he swings the energy of a game sometimes when he has moments like that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's hilarious that Luka got a tech that early. I was wondering, I was like, what would have to happen for Luka to get his second tech? and get kicked out of this game.
Oh, he got the Draymond treatment, where it's like he could do anything the rest of this game.
I mean, could he have punched somebody? And they would have got to the replay and be like, yeah, but it was like a weird sort of,
Yeah.
it wasn't a full punch. But no, yeah, Kyrie, I mean, sensing the moment early. Yeah, just that Luka tech was so funny.
Yeah, I mean the problem was he was like Jon Snow in Battle of the Bastards. Like there's nobody out there with him,
Yeah.
like as far as offense. I mean, what timing for arguably PJ Washington's worst game as a Maverick. You need Max Christie to have bigger moments on offense more than probably what he had tonight. He had some decision making that I was like, I don't know what's going on. He just felt like a super young player in a big emotional game. That he just didn't have, obviously no AD, no Lively, no Quentin Grimes, and even the replacement player you got back in that, and he's not playing. So it's just, there was a lot of offense to be had tonight outside of Kyrie, and it was just really tough for them to, and it wasn't because of like the defense. It was like so many open shots and stuff, and the lack of creator too. Not having a secondary creator. I mean, if you want to say Dinwiddie, but it's just like it was so evident tonight, and Kyrie was kind of out there on a limb by himself.
Yeah,
you see the difference between what the Mavericks had when Luka gets the ball, all of a sudden LeBron and Austin Reeves are playing off of an advantage already because Luka gets doubled a bunch. The Mavs throw a bunch of coverages at him. You see that. And on the Maverick side, it's they're fighting and clawing for everything. And they hit a bunch of threes, give them credit. 17 threes kept them in the game. Clay's big fourth quarter, we'll talk about that. But you just see the difference between what the Mavs have on offense now and what they kind of used to have.
Yeah, and I mean, Kyrie set up those advantages for them as well. It's just Kyrie's assists and playmaking don't come in the form of assists like Luka because he's not making the cross court skip passes like Luka can. He's swinging the ball to another guy, and then that guy's swinging the ball to another guy, and it gets the defense in rotation. So that's why you see like Christie get 6 assists, PJ get 5 assists. We've seen games where like Kessler Edwards had 6 assists in a game a few games ago. But
Stauskas didn't see that one.
Yeah, Stauskas must have missed that one. We got to send Stauskas some Kessler Edwards tape. But no,
well, there's not much of it.
Yeah, true. There isn't, but he's playing hard, man.
He's running out of games in his two-way. There is tape on him.
I am just wondering, like Stauskas, did he just watch that and assume, man, they're really going with Kessler Edwards as their starting sitter, huh? Like,
okay, so the tweet is Nick Stauskas used to be an NBA player. Remember he was drafted by the Kings. Remember that clip of Vivek Ranadive going Stauskas, like pointing around the circle, that Ringer documentary. He said, quote, I mean, no disrespect by this. Asking as a happily retired player, how in the hell does Kessler Edwards have a job in the NBA, let alone a starter for a team coming off an NBA Finals run? I'm just confused as to what his strengths are and what he does to impact a game. Wild.
That's a little too harsh. I was done with the Edwards experience too, but I wouldn't fire off something like that.
I mean, I don't think we're all like super excited about the Kessler Edwards experience, but I think most people recognize why it's happening at least.
Why? Because the entire front court is injured? Is that why? Is that what's happening?
Yes.
I did feel fairly confident that if the Mavericks had their bigs in this game, they would have mopped the floor of the Lakers. Like, I don't care.
Game.
It's a different game. AD, Lively, Gafford. I mean, any two of those guys out on the floor, PJ having a decent game. If PJ has a decent game like he's had all year, they're probably winning this game. But you add AD or Lively or Gafford into this, especially AD, like it's just a whole different type of team. So I just going back full circle to the beginning of the show. I just was so proud of the Mavs. There was a chance for them to just get blown out in this game and to get supernovaed by Luka, being so shorthanded, and even the bad games for Christie and Washington stuff. It's like they stayed with them the entire game and had a chance to win it at the end. I mean, that's effort. That's that's chemistry. That's a bunch of different stuff. And yeah, I was pretty hyped for them.
Yeah. I know this stuff's going to ring hollow for fans because it's just like we've been saying this now for a while, and it's just they play hard, they're trying hard, they're just so injured.
It's true,
but it's just the truth, and it's going to become more and more difficult to win games when you're this injured, especially when you go up against good teams like the Lakers. But yeah, I do agree. I mean, their bigs are here, or just even one of them. It's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Lakers had 52 points in the paint. The Mavs stop a couple of those and, get a couple of extra offensive rebounds, and it's a different game. Obviously, it'd be different on the offensive side of the ball too. But yeah, the Mavs have guys that are going to come back from injury. The Lakers, though, guys, we can't forget they're not a full team either. They still got to have Maxi Kleber come back.
That's right.
That's right. I didn't get one camera shot of Maxi tonight. I was pretty bummed.
Yeah, he was a former Maverick too. Like, why wasn't? I mean, nothing on Markieff.
Was he even on the bench? I didn't see him.
I just wanted to know from somebody in the arena if Dinwiddie had a tribute video.
Coming up, Klay Thompson, massive moment in the fourth quarter. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about why PJ struggled, other reasons for the Mavericks in this game. We'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavericks is brought to you by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. You can get them right now with Robinhood Gold. Your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account. Interest rate claim is based on the data from the FDIC as of November 18, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Also brought to you by DoorDash. Luka didn't get his 50, but somebody in the NBA will get a 50. And when they score 50 or more in a game during the 2024-2025 regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Get 50% off of whatever you're going to buy, whatever you're going to get, whether it's a game day feast or whether you just need lunch at work or whether it's a late night and you just don't want to go out anymore and boom, you just get something delivered. Do that. You have to be signed up for Dash Pass. Sign up for Dash Pass to be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in an NBA game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50, NBA, the letters, then number 5, number 0, NBA50, from noon to midnight after 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's the one more thing. We're talking about the Dallas Mavericks. We're talking about the team on the court. We're trying not to talk about all the extra stuff. We already got in all that. We already talked about all the Luka stuff in the other episodes. So go listen to that one if you haven't. Isaac Harris is slightly biased with me that we're 3-man weaving it. Gentlemen, we talked about Kyrie Irving and his contributions. Klay Thompson, the other one that stood out and showed up big in this one, I thought. 22 points in this game, 11 in that fourth quarter. Had some big moments where the Mavs, it felt like it was getting away from them again. You're like, all right, where is this gonna come from? How are the Mavs gonna get over the hump here? Klay, couple threes in a row, and just some massive moments from Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you bring in a guy like this, because he can still go on those stretches where he hits 3 threes in the span of about 90 seconds and completely shifts the dynamic of a game. And he's still, man, I know, he missed some mid-range shots so badly tonight, like airballed one, front rimmed another. They're so short on him, but you still just have so much confidence when he shoots a 3 late in the game. And he's just so skilled and talented. And this is why it was so exciting to imagine him playing next to a guy like Luka. He's just so good at finding the open spots on the court. And if you give him an inch of space, it's a shot. And that 3 he hit to tie the game with 7 minutes left, offensive rebound, just a great relocation, gets a flyby by Rui, 1 dribble, pull up 3. I mean, it's what he does. And I mean, again, that he just changes the dynamic of a game when he hits 3. He goes on those little stretches.
You bring Klay Thompson in to play with Luka, and you get what, 20-something games, 22 games of him and Luka together, if that.
Tied at the hip with our minutes too.
And that's the thing, when you have injuries like this, you're kind of forcing everybody to play a little bit out of their position and out of their role. You're probably getting a little bit more playmaking than you're probably wanting from a Klay Thompson, a guy you bring in to be a spot-up shooter and do a little bit off the dribble and stuff. But when he has to create or has to dribble and do some of that, that's where he gets, I think, a little bit past what he is now in his career post-injury stuff. But that stretch here, what 3 straight threes there, or 3 in a row for him there in that second half. But he had 17 of his 22 in the second half, and that's where it's like you needed like a Klay performance from someone else in the first half to help the Mavs out with that. So, but that's why you bring Klay. Klay was what 50% from 3 tonight, 8 of 17, minus 20. But but still, like
minus 20.
Yeah.
But still, you have Klay around an AD, you have Klay around Kyrie. You have Klay as a supplementary piece to some of the 2 stars on the team. Klay's going to look a lot better, which he still played good tonight, I thought. But
yeah. Everybody else though. I mean, you had some moments. You had some moments from Naji. Had some moments from Exum. You had some moments from from some others. But I felt like everybody else.
How many threes did Exum shoot tonight?
He took 7. He made 2 of them. It just felt like everybody else. The moment was just so big for him slightly. Like it just the emotions were so big. It was so massive. It felt like a playoff game. I mean, I was just watching on TV, but still, it felt like that.
Yeah, but you could just tell by how bad some of the missed shots were. Usually that's a telltale sign that guys are just a little too amped up. Isaac spoke on this earlier, and I agreed with him that the offense it wasn't like the Lakers just completely and totally clamped up the Mavs and they were getting terrible look after terrible look. I thought they got good shots, especially early on in the game, and they cut to Kid in the huddle, the first time out, and he was like, keep playing like this. You're getting great looks. And I know everyone's going to make fun of Kid, but I thought he was right. Honestly, I thought they got good looks. I mean, they were missing shots they were missing layups, just blowing layups. PJ Washington have never seen PJ Washington look like that with the Dallas Mavericks at any point. So just kind of a weird game. And it kind of speaks to some of the concerns we have with some of these guys in a playoff setting, especially someone like Naji Marshall, because if a team is just not even going to respect him from 3 to the point where he's not even getting guarded, that becomes a very serious problem in a potential playoff series.
The thing about that, though, is if you're not going to have your advantage, which we've talked about this so many times, if you don't have AD and the 2 other centers, you don't have your advantage at all. And if you don't have that, then your advantage is to spread out and play 5 out. And then all of a sudden that advantage gets taken away when you're not guarding somebody like Naji or Kessler Edwards or something like that. So then all of a sudden, like, okay, we should have this advantage of this spaced out ball. And it's not going to happen because a couple of these guys aren't getting guarded at all.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that could still be a problem for you whenever you play big, because that means you might get an advantage for AD, but then help can come because teams are okay helping off of Naji Marshall. It's going to be very important for him to hit shots, very important. But at least you have the roll gravity or the lob threat gravity plus the rebound advantage then, because you got size. So it's like, okay, if you're not going to get the spacing, at least you get it back in another way. You guys mentioned the shooting. You guys ready to learn how they shot? 6 of 28 from mid-range, the Mavericks did. That's 21%. That's second percentile. That's bad. That second is bad. 99 is the best.
It's awesome.
12 of 26 at the rim. That's 46%. That's fourth percentile. That's also bad. Also absolutely terrible. So they shot the worst possible from mid-range and at the rim. They were 11 of 27 on non-corner threes. 6 of 17 on corner threes. Both of those pretty good percentiles. Did the Mavs just make a bunch of threes and that's why they stayed in this game, or is there something else, Isaac?
I mean, a part of it, when you're playing small, you almost have to hit 1 million threes, right? I mean, it's not like, it's kind of like your recipe outside of like Kyrie. I think the main reason they're in this game is because Kyrie put up 35, but and then Klay hit some shots late and stuff. But if I would say the recipe without the bigs right now, it's probably not going to look great if you're not going to hit threes and, no one else is close to, Klay had 22, but no one's like really helping Kyrie. It's just a tough thing to overcome with this team. Can we talk about some defense stuff they did? You want to do it now or later on? Because I just thought one of the big storylines of the game was like how they're going to guard Luka. We've been saying for so long that every team going against Luka basically has to make a decision. Are you going to try to take Luka out of the game and dare the shooters to, hit the shots? Or are you going to stay at home on the shooters and say, hey, Luka, you can have 35, 40 points in this game? the Mavs clearly, I mean, you could have predicted it probably that they were going to go into it saying, hey, we're not going to allow Luka to have like a 50-point game in this one. We're going to double him. But they threw everything possible at him, even in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw they ran zone in the first quarter. They started off man. They did blitzes. They did doubles. They did a boxing one at one point. Like they did so much stuff. And that's kind of like what you have to do if you're going to take that route to it. Their shooters are just hitting shots. And it was just, I was just so curious of like, all right, well, now we get to see how what he's going to choose in this game. And, they just brought the double a ton and dared the Lakers, guys hit shots. And for the most part, they did a lot of the time.
Yeah. And I mean, no one knows this better than us. This is what makes Luka so great that you have to pick your poison. And it is either Luka's going to get single covered and going to torch whoever's guarding him because there's realistically not a Luka stopper in the league, or we're going to send help and double it. He's going to make the right pass every single time, no matter where it is. And you saw that. And yeah, I mean, the Lakers couldn't miss from three early in this game. And it felt like they hit almost every single, three off of a skip pass that Luka had. But all in all, I do think the Mavs did a pretty good job on Luka. Yeah. I mean, 19, 15, and 12 is great. And we were joking before the stream started, this show started. There was like, that's a decent Luka game. And that's just the level that Luka's at, that we call that a decent game. But I think they did well, especially, he had 9 points in the first quarter of the game and had 10 points the rest of the game. So you didn't get got by Luka.
Like 1-3 by Luka in this game. Like,
yeah, really 1? I thought he had 2.
No, one. Well, they took the one away. Remember?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and that one that he hit was crazy because he was getting double teamed. And there was a great defensive possession that ended in Luka doing Luka things. But yeah, I thought you did a pretty good job, all things considered. And he made the right pass every time, and they hit shots. And that's kind of the problem with Luka. That's the Luka dilemma when you're defending him.
And then you saw the defense, the lack of bigs has come to bite him at the end. LeBron looked like he was like Wilt Chamberlain out there, massive, because it's like they just don't have anybody else out there. And it just killed him at the end.
The play at the end where they were replaying it and they're like, LeBron seals on Max Christie and then gets the Luka passes over the top of him, and it's like LeBron just kind of pushed Max Christie out of the way. It's like, man, it'd be great to have Gafford back there or Lively or somebody.
Yeah. Even on the glass, you saw it really bite the Mavs towards the end of the game, just the offensive rebounds. And yeah, I mean, we tracked this number a little bit since they've been so small. Does the other team outshoot you, get 10, 15, 20 more chances than you did? And you actually outshot the Lakers tonight as a team, but it just felt like we mentioned 52 points in the paint for the Lakers, 13 second chance points. You got doubled up there, and it just felt like the timely ones, the ones late in the game where you got the stop, but you just couldn't clean up the possession. And LeBron gets a putback dunk, or Rui gets an offensive rebound and a putback. Like, those are the ones that really kill you. And it's just same old, unfortunately, for this current Mavs team.
But they, in the defensive game plan of daring the other guys that hit shots, it kind of like turned out good in the second half, because then the guys started missing shots. I think they shot in the 20-something percentage in the second half.
3 of 17
from 3. Gosh, what was that percentage then?
17%.
Shout out to you doing math.
I did the math. No, I have it right here. I have the stats. Dorian missed one. Connect missed one. Yeah, LeBron missed one. Vando missed one. Gabe missed 2. Luka missed 3. Rui missed 2. Reeves missed 3. It's like everybody was part of it.
Yeah, it was like, and then eventually the Lakers late were like, all right, we don't have to settle for these threes. They literally have nobody over 6'8" on their team right now. So I guess Dwight played in this game, and then they just start scoring at will in the paint.
And that's kind of the problem too, is it's like when you don't have that backline help, you don't have like a rim protector, you don't have somebody there to clean up any slip ups on the perimeter, you don't really have a choice but to double, especially against like Luka or LeBron, because those guys are going to beat their man more often than not. And if your help is Kyrie Irving, who, I mean, 3 steals and 2 blocks, Kyrie's hands are unbelievable.
Insane.
Like unreal defensively. When he's the low man and he's tagging a roller, I feel like there's probably a 50% chance he's going to knock the ball out of bounds if the big brings the ball down. It's just actually crazy how good his hands are defensively. But I mean, when it's Kyrie is like your help, you have to prevent that from happening.
I thought it was pretty telling that early in the game, Luka was seeking out Kessler Edwards instead of Kyrie to like ISO out. I'm like, buddy, you're like 6'8", and in theory, you shouldn't be getting targeted over a 6'1" Kyrie, but he did.
Well, we see Luka do that though. Like I'll hunt your tallest player or whatever, and it'll
You're a
open up
random
stuff.
role player.
Well, that, but it'll also just open up stuff for other guys on the team, or it'll take the help out of the paint, and whatever the case may be. It's just how smart he is.
What was our famous Spencer Dinwiddie Media Day quote where he talked about how the Mavericks showed him two different players and said, you score 1.2 points per possession on this player and 0.8 on this one. You should attack this one. And Luka goes, no, I'm going to attack the one that I score less on to prove that I can actually score on that player. And may have been Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert, but we don't know for sure on that one. Dinwiddie wouldn't confirm on that, but it felt like it because it was right after the 2022 run. I feel okay about this matchup, though, if the Mavs are going to get their guys back. Like, I don't know. You start playing this and you start going through it, and you're like, okay, if the Mavs somehow...
No, I still stand by. Like, I said this last week. Like, if they face off in a playoff series and everybody's healthy, I still feel good about the Mavs in that series. Like, I get it, they have Luka. I don't know. I just feel confident in it.
The West is just so weird outside of the Thunder. It's so, you could look at any team and talk yourself into a matchup being favorable, but it's just, I agree. I mean, you see how the role players step up at times. You see how well Kyrie's played, and then you just think you're going to add the best front court in the league to this. Like, you don't even have a piece of it. You don't even have a piece of the best front court in the league playing right now, and they're still doing things that you appreciate. They're still doing things that you look at and you're like, man, that being shorthanded and doing this and playing this competitively is really the markings of a good competitive basketball team. It's just they just got to get healthy, man. We know it's weeks. We know it's weeks away. That's what I think is the worst part. It's not like it's a couple days away. It's weeks.
Yeah, I want to mention one other thing. There was an aspect of the trade that I didn't expect to be so prominent on my brain tonight, but it was. And it was the fact that every time I watch Austin Reeves do something good on the floor, I'm like, he should have been in that trade. Of like, there's a million different angles to look at that trade, but I'm like, it was just so stupid. I mean, I thought Austin Reeves played pretty good tonight, and there was a stretch there to where, I mean, he was just torching the Mavs.
Yeah.
And even some of his playmaking, I think, is improved and stuff. And he's made a leap this year, but still, it was just like pretty remarkable on their side that they got to keep Austin Reeves and like, you traded for Luka and you got to keep Austin Reeves. You got to keep any of your picks outside of one pick. It was just, I found myself thinking about that way too much tonight. So it's awesome.
I mean, it all comes back down to trying to keep this trade in secrecy. And that probably set your franchise back even further. Because if you just rip the Band-Aid off and like, hey, Luka, listen, we're trading you to the Lakers, man. Like, it's just, this is what we think about it now. And then you can go to the Lakers and be like, all right, we told them. Like, your leverage over us is gone. So we want everything.
Yeah. I go to a tweet I saw tonight and was like, somebody tweeted and was like, I could have lied to myself if it was AD, Reeves, Christie, and like multiple picks. And like, I could have convinced myself, lied to myself if that was I mean,
it was obviously, it obviously would have been a better deal. So you'd have felt better about it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like AD was valued at all right, he's going to be fully healthy, and he's this top 5 two-way player in the NBA right now. And it's like, okay, well, but he doesn't play as often, so that it's almost like they didn't get a discount for that at all.
It sucks that AD's not here because this whole game was hyped. This whole game for the last 4 days has been hyped as come watch the Mavs funeral on Tuesday night. Like there was no, this could be a great match. It was like come watch the Mavericks fans completely, totally melt down. Come watch them boo Nico Harrison. Come watch them lose by 4. Like it was a foregone conclusion. I don't think I heard anyone talking about this game that was like, I think the Mavs might win.
Nobody cared about the Mavs.
Dude, people were so desperate for Luka Nico content that one account, Photoshop that picture.
Yeah, the basketball forever one.
Yeah.
And dude, that thing got so much run on Twitter, and it's like photo of the year, like Photoshop of the year.
It was a
like,
great Photoshop. It was great. I got Sintelled.
Took me a couple seconds to realize it was Photoshop, and then
I was like, why is Nico sitting there?
Yeah, well, I also knew where Nico was sitting.
Yeah,
but anyway,
they got Nico in the 7th row.
Dwight Powell returned.
I actually thought he gave us some pretty good minutes.
It was nice to have somebody over 6'8".
Yeah,
Had
he
some
got
tap
those
outs.
volleyball tap out rebounds. We've been so desperate. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I feel like I can breathe there again.
Got hit in the face a couple times.
Classic.
Yeah, he did. Got a good kind of selling flopping call on Jackson Hayes. It's great.
Does he start going forward? Does Kessler Edwards start at center ever again?
Stop.
Dwight Powell started the second half, didn't he?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Start Dwight. Play Dwight 40 minutes.
What a great place we're in.
Play Omax.
That's a great place to stop, guys.
What about Omax's block on Luka, baby? Take
was
that,
nice.
Luka.
What about Christie's too?
I mean, Luka scored.
That
Luka
chase
scored
down
right
by
after
Christie
that.
was. Wait, we didn't even talk about PJ really at all.
We just talked about. I mean, his offense was just brutal. I mean, do you have any? Do you have
0
any
points.
You have any theories why it was that bad? I mean, 0 of 9 from the field, missed both of his threes, didn't get to the free throw line, had 5 assists,
Collusion.
but 3 turnovers.
That was brutally bad.
Do we know when they flew into LA?
We also had the moment where him and Vando are like going at it on the sideline, and then you had the moment where Kyrie and Vando were going back. So it was like the end of the third quarter. Naji got that block steal on Luka. That was a great play. Like just like grab the ball away from him, dishes it to Kyrie on the other end. Mavs are only down 3. Then you go to the other end, and like I think Vanderbilt hit a 3 right in front of PJ Washington, and he starts jawing at him.
Another player that should have been in the trade.
Then you get maybe. Then
I like
you get,
Vanderbilt a lot. Man.
You want another player that gets injured a lot? I mean, that's
no. I like it.
keep trading for those. But then you had the challenge, and then Vanderbilt said something to Kyrie too, and Kyrie was like, did not like that at all. But I don't know. PJ seemed really fired up, and he just couldn't back it up with his offense today.
Well, they did say in the broadcast that at halftime, like he was messing around with his jaw because that elbow he took from LeBron.
Popped.
So maybe I'll give him a little bit of a pass there and think that was just he was just a little bit rattled because of that. Because
new baby.
The Darius Garland stuff. It's there's sports doctors on Twitter who are like, I don't think people realize how important your jaw is for athletes. Because you like clinch it when you do anything.
It's where you hold tension. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Wow.
I just broke the case.
I was just gonna say he's losing sleep with the newborn, but
no,
You're the only one here that has experience with that.
I
So
think I'm right.
just changing diapers. I don't know.
I trust my medical analysis on this.
We've gone doctor enough on this show. But
Yeah, we have.
Twitter doctor on this show. Yeah. Mavs lose this one, but it was another hard fought game. Do that again. We'll see where the Mavericks go forward. Go check out our other episode. Go check out Slightly Biased. Great YouTube channel all the time. Great stuff all the time there, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Locked on Mavs. And one more thing.
On to Charlotte.
Peace out.
Boom.
Just wait till Kyler Kelly's back.